The Duskmourn set has fully been spoiled, so it's time to look at our investments as well as some Arabian Nights cards for my vintage Arabian Nights set cube. Welcome to another installment of Quest for Cube. As you can see, we have 6 letters here, so we're gonna pop right into them letter by letter. I don't know exactly what's in what. I think the Arabian Nights cards are the last one, so we'll save the best for last and look at what we got. So the Duskmourn set has fully been spoiled, as I already said at the beginning of the video, and we know now that there will be these, I think Glimmer or Glimpse cards are they called? I think Glimmer. And there is a card that I mentioned on the channel on the community tab, which really synergizes well with those glimpses. So there's Opalescence for you, a reserved list card from Urza's Destiny, which for 2 and 2 white is an enchantment which turns all other enchantments into creatures with power and toughness equal to their mana costs. And with those Glimmer cards, which state when they die, when they've been a creature, they enter the battlefield back as an enchantment and are no longer creatures, but Opalescence tells you that they certainly are still creatures. So you can get into some fun, nice shenanigans of like infinite sacrificing, enters the battlefield, triggers, and the like. And I mentioned on the channel that this card was on the rise, so I ordered a couple. This one is quite used. I hope this was mentioned as stated as poor since it's been twice. Wow. But it was cheap probably, so I ordered it. I think like 5 times or so. And as I already stated, I mentioned on the channel, so if you are following the channel, you had the heads up to also get into this investment. This card I paid around like 12 bucks for per piece, I think, and there are now over 20 bucks per card, so I am up a couple of bucks, and I'm able now to trade those away or sell some if I want to buy some other cards that I would rather like instead. So if you want some more financial heads up in the future and are not yet subscribed, maybe you want to do that right now so you don't forget to support the channel. We're almost at 700 subscribers. We almost surpassed that milestone, and you could be number 700 or 701 or whatever, and would support the channel, and yeah, would be much appreciated. Got another one, and I think this one should contain a last one before we hit into the Arabian Nights cards. And this one, I have to tell you, is a bigger order. Like, I think I paid like 300 bucks or so for this whole order. I also ordered a couple of unlimited cards for my unlimited set cube, or in this case for just the mana base of my vintage set cube. So if you are into vintage cards, you came to the right channel as well. So this, funnily enough, has a different wording in Antiquities, and I wanted to buy this as a reminder card to the person who drafts this one, or at the beginning of the game rather, that I tell them that some cards do different stuff. In this case, it returns 1 card to its owner's hand, and we'll get another Opalescence. This one I ordered for Pauper, a Pauper deck. Also got Pauper deck techs on my channel, so there should be something for everyone. And I still need one, is what I wanted to say. Some more unlimited cards, a unicorn, some creature bond. We don't need to look at these 2 details since those look all quite nicely, a little white line here. But other than that, these all look really nice and playable. Now let's look at our big order for today, which is this one, and see what I got for the Arabian Nights set cube. Okay, here we are. Man, to the person who sold me those cards, you could have detonated a bomb next to the package and the package would have still survived. There was a lot of packaging around those cards. Okay, so we're starting out with the Ogress here, which has, a second version. If you didn't know, Arabian Nights has a darker and a lighter printing, and you can see the difference in the mana symbols here. This one is darker, while the right one has a lighter printing and is easier to be read. And there are some cards where you can actually misread their mana cost, and they seem cheaper at first but actually cost more. These look really nice. I think the same for the PT, yeah. Again, here for the mana costs, in the top corner you can see the darker and the lighter printing. There are a couple of cards that have these different versions, and there are a couple of cards that don't, that just have one version. So some of them just have the lighter or the darker printing. And these look really nice and crispy. Got a Brass Man, which is an uncommon. I think I need like 3 of or so, and it's not really great, but I mean, solid card in Arabian Nights, I guess. Colorless, got a camel. Really beautiful art by Sandra here, Sandra Everingham. Get some more Dandan. Yeah, that one looks really clean. Wow, that might be my nicest copy. I own like over 20 copies of Dandan. If you want to check that video out and are a fan of the Weird Fish, do check out this video up here in the corner. Graders, which is one of those darker printings versions. Like, did you notice that it costs 1 and a black? So in this case there is a lighter version. I don't know if I got a lighter version as well in this collection, but this card doesn't just cost 1 black, just so you know. And there are a couple of cards like that. Fish Liver Oil, a okay card. I don't think I would draft it in a Arabian Nights set cube. War Elephant, much better card, also darker printing here. Then we got a Merchant Ship, which is a U3 on the print sheet, which is similar to the Dandan, which has this island home effect kind of, and is not really great, I think. Here is the lighter printing of the Graders. Ugh. Some black ink, I hope I'm not transferring any. So here you can see the difference in mana cost. They both cost 1 and a black, and this is the lighter version, which is obviously the preferred version, I'd say, because you can read it more easily. Have to be careful with the ink used here on the card, the Sharpie. Hope I'm not. Yeah, I don't have any black spots here on my fingers, not that I transfer some onto the cards. Got an Army, which is a common in this set. Some white speck here. That's so fine. Another one of these, okay. Is there a lighter? Yeah, a lighter and a darker printing again here. I think I'd prefer to have one of each version if I can. So if I was able to choose, if I were to choose, I would like to own one of each version just to have the variants and tell some stories about how the set came along and the specialties or the weird flaws or features of the set or the story. Got a Primal Clay. I think I still needed one for my Antiquities set that is not in plate or worse condition, and this one is really clean, so I'm glad to add this and replace one of my many Primal Clays that I own. I think I own like 4 or 5 of these now, and like 2 of them are quite used. Aladdin's Ring, which is a really bad card for today's standards, like 8 mana and then another 8 to deal 4 damage. So unless you have infinite mana to deal infinite amount of damage, which is then good in this case, let's say Basalt Monolith and some Power Artifact, and then you can make this interesting. But other than that, if you don't have it out, yeah, I don't know. This one, fun fact, does not cost you 3 blue, but it costs 4 and 3 blue. and I guess it's a big fishy with Island Home. Yeah, it's not great, but it's a wonderful card, nice to have. Got a bottle here. For 4 mana, you flip a coin. I'm not gonna read the whole card, you can just pause the video. Get damage or a Djinn with this card. Yeah, these are so pretty. I'm so happy to be able to start collecting my Arabian Nights set cube. I have different set cubes on the channel. I finished my The Dark set cube like a year or two ago. Magnetic Mountain, this one is a little slightly bent in between here. I hope the seller told me about that. I also have a Legends set cube and an Antiquities set cube. And I counted recently and I noticed that I only need like 40 cards for my Legends set cube. Most of them are quite expensive, and like 29 I think for my Antiquities set cube to be finished with both sets. So that's really nice. A Djinn, flip coin Djinn. Really cool artwork, don't you think? Another ring here that lets you discard a card you just drew and replaces it with the next card from your deck. So also not the best for 8 mana to do that. You can do that more often, but yeah, not the best. Sandals gives Island Walk, because that's solid, but also not the strongest card. Flying Carpet I think is my first uncommon. By the way, the Arabian Nights set only has uncommons, but I needed 3 of that one, and now I own 3, so it's the first uncommon I am finished with for this set, if I recall correctly. Got the Desert Nomads, which really gives like a Star Wars-y vibe, don't you think? Has some stamp mark here on the side. Other than that, still a really nice copy. Another fish liver oil. Cavalry. Yeah, these are really pretty. And yeah, since I am quite far with those sets, with Antiquities and Legends, I started collecting Arabian Nights and Unlimited as well. And yeah, I'm getting like 30 cards here with this collection. As I said, I spent like $300 on this entire collection, and we're getting somewhere now. We're getting somewhere. So maybe it's possible to do like a chaos draft with all these vintage sets that I've collected, and build 1 booster pack per set, and then have the Unlimited set cube as like the base kind of set. That would be interesting now, wouldn't it? Unstable Mutation. But now, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. There are like 2 or 3 cards left. Let me know what you like to combine or synergize Opalescence with, if you also invested in some. And tell me what your favorite card from Arabian Nights is. I would love to know what your thoughts are. My favorite probably is the blue fish, the dandan, which I showed off earlier, this fishy here. But yeah, let me know in the comments. And I think the turtle wants you to click the left button and the right one for another awesome video. I'll see you there, and have a beautiful day. Take care, bye-bye.